Everybody, welcome back. This one is special. This is the spectacular. Let's do it again. The Spectacular Spider-Man 200 by Sal Buscema and J. Matisse. I believe that's the writer. And this is the hologram cover or shiny cover. Not sure. This one is great. This is utterly fantastic. This one got me. What is this all about? This is about Harry Osborn, that, he has been in this costume a lot and he has a breakdown again. He has a fever. His wife is scared of him and he wants to have revenge on Spider-Man. But, and we've seen this kind of stories before, although this one is very precious to me. And why? Well, precious is probably not the right word, but this is one is very good. So let's dive in. So we see Harry on the glider, and he takes Mary Jane and he brings her to the place where, skipping to the bridge where Gwen Stacy died. So, and he said, and Mary Jane is, said to him, if you want to kill me, just do it. I'm sick of it. I won't give you the satisfaction. And Harry says, I don't want you to die. I love you. I said, you're one of my dearest friends. And he sitting down on the bridge with MJ, and they're reminiscing about, the death of Gwen and that he misses her, and he tried to bring back memories when they were younger. And then, Mary Jane said something controversial about that Harry's father, Norman Osborn, killed Gwen. And he said he did not. It was a setup. And then he turns into, being Harry again. And Mary Jane says, why did you bring me here? And Harry explains that he wants to go back to the old days, and he talks about here, hey, remember when we were young and innocent? And then, it goes a little bit back and forth. And then I said, I love you, Mary Jane, and Peter's aunt, and you are both family, and I want you to be safe. And then she said, take me home, Harry. But Spider-Man, Peter Parker, knows that he kidnapped Mary Jane, and he's searching for her, and he's pissed off. He's very angry. He kicks some burglars' ass, and he threatens them in a very aggressive way. And then he comes home and he sees Mary Jane and Harry, and he instantly attacks Harry with one shot. But then Mary Jane defends Harry because he said, listen, stop. He just wants to talk. And there will be a fight. And then it seems that Harry just wants to get this over with the whole, how do you say, feud between the Parkers and the Osborns. So what is he doing? He is going back to his wife. And there is, skipping a few pages. Well, let me check this up. And as you can see, he puts his son to bed, and we see Liz here afraid of Harry because he is on the brink of having a meltdown. And then what is Harry is doing? Harry is, stalking Peter, goes on where he goes and, just doing nothing, just be there. And said, hey, I'm not going to attack you. I'm just here on my glider. I can do whatever I want. And so he goes to the Daily Bugle and he talks with Jonah Jameson. And he said, listen, there's something that I want to do. I'm going to publicize a new project. It's called the Norman Osborn Foundation. And with that foundation, he uses the Osborn family's money to, help people, for charity and whatnot. And it's going to be about in 6 weeks. And he wants to bring down the family honor again. And then what is happening that, Peter is eating a pizza and reminiscing also about what Harry is doing. He is He's trying to get him, psychological help, but they cannot help him because he did nothing wrong yet. So there's nothing that the police or people from the vaults, the psychologists, can do. So Peter is on his own. So then he sees Goblin on the roof, and he thinks that he is trying to attack him, but the Goblin is doing nothing. So he goes on his costume and he attacks Spider-Man. Or Spider-Man attacks the Goblin, and the Goblin says, "You know what? I'm not gonna attack you. There will be a time that I'm gonna kill you, maybe in a couple of years. But now, no, I'm gonna, be here and be in your life. And my life goal is to make your life as miserable as possible. And when you least expect it, you're gonna die." And then we see some emotional outburst from Spider-Man, because if Spider-Man is not doing what he says, he's going to reveal his identity to the world. So he's basically, blackmailing him. And skipping, then it's nighttime. We see Harry talking to the picture or painting of Norman Osborn, and he vows that he's going to kill everybody at that how do you say, at a festivity about a couple of weeks, because he rigged the whole place with TNT or with explosive, and when they least expect it, he is gonna blow them to Kingdom Come. And then they see that Harry Osborn, or the Green Goblin, that he's a force to be reckoned with, and that he's more ruthless than the original Goblin. Also, he swears that he is not making the same mistake that his father did, forgetting his family. "I stay true to my son, my wife, till the end." So some powerful stuff in here, man. It's really cool. And then I'm also a big fan of Sal Buscema, and I love his art. He is it Sal or is it John? Just let me. It's Sal Buscema, yeah. Just like his father before him, his art is incredible. And this is the Green Goblin, the Harry Osborn, and the Peter Parker and Mary Jane that I remember. For me, this is where the glory days in Spider-Man, maybe the 80s, 70s as well, but especially in the 90s, where Sal is a big part of Spider-Man. He brings so much life and emotion to these characters. It's really amazing. Skipping a few pages again. The Mary Jane goes to Liz Osborn, but Liz is, totally oblivious. She's so scared for her husband that she doesn't want to listen to Mary Jane, and she sends her away. And then at some point, she goes to Harry and says, "Harry, you need to stop this. You are sick. Peter is missing you. He wants you back as a friend. Please stop." And she's basically begging them. But on the other hand, we see also Spider-Man, thinking about what he's going to do. And he is going automatically back to the place where Gwen Stacy dies. And he realized that "I lost the woman I love," he says. "Norman Osborn lost his life. It can't happen again. I can't let him. He has to be stopped one way or another." So he goes to Norman to stop him. But before Mary Jane reaches, the friendship, the love of Harry Osborn that they once had with all each other, he sees that the alarm is going off and Spider-Man is there. And he says, "What's wrong? He is wrong. Do you see? You begged me to stop, but he won't let go. He won't let go." And then he crashes, as you see here, through the roof. And he also, before that, he explained that it's too late for love. The only thing that matters is power. And that he gave him the Goblin formula that is better than the last one. And it solved it. He is above pain. He is above the problems. He says he's a giant, and the world will see who he is. And he begs basically Mary Jane to go away before this scene is happening. So what's happening is that they Spider-Man battle and Goblin battle each other, and they are going toe to toe in a very aggressively way, and they are basically evenly matched. And then of course, the great visuals of Sal Buscema, as you can see here. This is what he's good at, punching people. You see the power, you see the blows, you see, the visual impact, you see the facial expressions. It's so good. It's so good. And then finally, Peter says, we are evenly matched. We need to stop this. And he tried to, just like Mary Jane did, appease to his human side. But Goblin says, no, it's too late. And then he poisons Spider-Man, and he is paralyzed. And then he realizes that exactly what Peter says. I've been thinking a lot. Maybe you are right. So we need to end this once and for all. So what he's doing, he also rigged the place here, and he wants to blow himself up with Spider-Man. But what he didn't account for is that Mary Jane and his son, Normie, is also in the building, and then he realizes mistake. So he flees out, rescues Mary Jane and his son, because Peter, asked him and begged him to. But Mary Jane said, where's my husband? Did you save Peter? And he said, I can't. And she said, well, sure, you can. You need to save him. And that is exactly what he is doing. He is rescuing Peter Parker. And at the end, he is collapsing. And then this is the great stuff. He's collapsing. And he says, stupid experiment formula. Guess the experiment wasn't much of a success, huh? Just hang on, okay? We get in ambulance. I did it, Peter. Just the way you would have done it. A real hero. Why, Harry? Why'd you come back for me? Hey, what else I could do? You're my best friend. That got me. That part really got me. And then the ambulance comes, and he is, transported away. And then we see at the end Spider-Man alone, basically crying on his own. And that's the end of the book. And it's fucking fantastic. It's man, it has it all. I mean, beautiful art, great storytelling, and a real emotional ending. And that's, we don't, like I said many times in previous video, and maybe I'm biased, but we don't have this kind of comics anymore. Not at all. It's all, well, I don't want to repeat what I said before, but this is powerful. This is great. This is great storytelling. This is great visuals. This is a fight between friends. They love each other, but they, it's not hating, but more like they can't let the anger and the bitterness go from what happened in the past. What Norman Osborn did, because he has, brainwashed his son, made him just like him, and then thus the cycle of violence continues. And unfortunately later, there's probably also going that violence and that hate towards his son, Normie. Yeah, great stuff. So yeah, this is my end of the review. I hope you like it. I urge you to pick this up and other previous comics as well. Continuation of this storyline. It's great stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like my video, share my video, hit the bell for notifications. If you like what you see, subscribe to my channel again, and then I'll see you next time.